Happy Mother's Day for all of you out there enjoying your beautiful families.
Who are mothers.
Who are mothers. Yeah.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
It's a great day, beautiful day where we are. The sun is shining brightly and the grass is peeping up very, very green, which makes me think more about nutrients.
Oh, yeah. So the last 4 weeks we've been talking about the wide variety of organic, high nutrient dense whole foods and how that provides the body with what it needs, because our bodies need nutrients. And so much of the dilemma, the health conditions that exist in our culture today, we feel has a lot to do with just not having enough nutrients for the body to do what it's designed to do.
Well, I was reading today a book called Undo It, and it's by an MD who's very famous, and he was talking about how the blood actually, after having one meal of high nutrient dense foods, circulates better through the body. Or conversely, if you have one meal of high fat, especially high saturate fat, it really slows the flow of blood down in the distribution of nutrients.
What that reminds me of, remember some years ago there was the Super Size Me, and the fellow went on to eat at McDonald's for every meal for 30 days, I think. And they took blood, and the blood serum, there was actually a fatty layer on top, like the way cream rises in milk.
Yeah.
It was scary.
It was scary.
Yeah, so what we eat gets in our blood. Let's eat well. Yeah. But I was also doing a little research recently because I remembered some years ago reading about how nutrient levels had changed in food because the nutrients in the soil had changed so much. So I was checking in to see what was new and what could be found, and they're validating, over and over again how, from the research we had there was a University of Texas study that showed the difference between, I think it was 1963 and 1999. To get the same amount of vitamin A from an orange today, you have to eat 8 oranges.
Wow. So in 1963, the vitamin C content,
vitamin
A content in one orange was
8 times more.
8 times more.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's interesting how things have changed a lot, and the only logical conclusion, anyway, is that it has to do with our soil and growing practices. So that's another reason that we encourage organic. We're lucky to have a lot of organic growers here in the Okanagan Valley where we live, and so we can even go out and get fresh right out of the garden, out of the farm produce, and there is such a difference in taste.
Oh, such a difference in look and feel and taste. And we just bought a new townhouse in part because we want to do retreats to invite people to come and stay with us and really get immersed in high nutrient dense food. And we look out of our bedroom window at all of these agricultural fields where there's lots of fruit and veggies and nuts. So beautiful.
Yeah, feels like we're really lodged in the breadbasket of Canada.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That's great. Yeah, and I guess the other research that I read was from a study that in the last 50 years, this was comparing food from 50 years ago, the calcium in both carrots and, what was the other thing, tomatoes, was less than half.
Wow.
Calcium was less than half. And in apples, the magnesium was less than half.
Wow.
So this is just taking food off the grocery shelf. It was nothing special that they did in these tests. So yeah, something to think about. Really always pick the freshest, most vital-looking food, because the vitality you see in the food is the result of the nutrients that are in it. The nutrients are what give the food its color. The balance and health of the food, of the plant that produced the food, is what gives it that radiance, that draws us. When you see a head of lettuce that was just Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Here we are again. So what I was saying is what really produces that radiance of food that we see when we're out on a farm or when we have a garden in our backyard, that radiance is just the life force. It's the health that's there. So always pick that when you're going to the store.
Yeah, and one thing I learned in macrobiotic cooking and healing foods is look for the dense, smaller veggies. They have more what we might call power to stimulate the digestion. And they also carry more nutrients. So look for the smaller carrots or the smaller beets like that when you choose food.
You know, when you mentioned that, I think of how strawberries, when I was growing up, you know, they were about the size of a large quarter. And today you see these things, they're monsters, you know. And when I have those big strawberries, they look so good in the container, but they don't taste like the strawberries I remember from before. And we had a lot of strawberries in our garden in Edmonton, and they were the smaller variety, and I'll tell you, they were packed with flavor. So I know what you're talking about. Get the kind of dense, nutrient-dense, power-packed.
Yeah. So today we want to share with you about our trip to the farm. We do volunteer work for a farmer, an organic farmer here, and we picked the most beautiful kale and made a meal out of it that was heaven. So check the recipe below and you'll see in the photos that we took so much life force just exuding from this kale. It's really special.
Okay, that's it for now.
Enjoy your day. Much love.
See you next week.